Hello, it's Katya or Toxic Art, and today I'm going to be showing you how I go about creating a pet portrait. My favorite medium is oil paint, so that's what I'm going to be using today. I always start out by creating a grid that matches one that I put on my reference photo that I'm using, and that way it makes it so much easier to create the sketch. I usually do this in a watercolor pencil because it's the easiest thing to cover up with paint, and it doesn't smudge like graphite. Once I'm finished with the sketch, I move on to acrylic paint for my base coat. I use acrylic paint to do a base for my oil paintings because it dries so fast, which means I can get color down on the page without having to wait a couple days for it to dry before getting started on the details, which is my favorite part. I decided to do the underpainting for this portrait using just black and white acrylic paint. Sometimes it's nice to have the grayscale underneath and then just go over top with colors. It makes it much easier. Other times I will actually use more colors. Just depends on what I'm feeling. This is actually a portrait of my dog Bella. She just turned 7 years old on Halloween this year. I took this photo a few months ago when she was sitting in the sun. This pose makes her look so serious. Now to get started with the oil paint once that base layer dried. I'm actually mixing a color for the background so I can get that done, so when I go to do the edge fur it kind of blends in. I tend to start with the eyes when I'm doing a portrait. I just like to get those complete. It makes the animal that I'm painting really come to life right away. For this portrait I only did a couple of layers, so I'm really focusing on getting as much detail as I can, even in just the first layer. But I always start out with just putting in a little bit of a base color so that I can cover the page and then go back in and add in those darks and lights for all the tiny little details. I chose this picture specifically because of the nose. Her nose is just so big in this picture, and I love painting in all the little highlights and the little shadows in the grooves of the nose. I hope you enjoy watching the rest of this process as I finish this pet portrait of my dog, Bella. I'm still learning a lot as I continue to try different techniques with what kind of paper I'm using and how I go about doing the base coat with acrylic paint, and also just with how many layers I decide to do with the oil paint on top. It's all about finding a balance between putting in all the details and also making sure to still focus on the shapes, the values, and then the highlights and the shadows to really make the animal come alive. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy the rest of this process as I finish out this portrait of Bella. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!